In this video, I'm going to show you how to use CSS to change and define the font size of text on your website. And we're getting started right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. It's Bjorn from Higher Learning Lab, where we help you code better so you can earn more for yourself, for your clients, and for your business. And if it's your first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, then hit the bell notification icon so you're notified when we publish more awesome tutorials. And with that out of the way, let's head over to the screen capture so we can learn how to change font sizes. I'll see you there. So on the left-hand side, we have a very simple HTML setup, HTML page setup. We have an H1 tag and a P tag, and that's all we have on there. On the right-hand side, we see how it displays currently. And if we want to change the font size, we use the font size declaration. So if we want to change the P tag to make the text bigger, we just go into the style. In the header, we'd write style, or the style open tag, style close tag, and we type in P for paragraph and type in font dash size, and we can make it 20 pixels. Save it, refresh the page, and we see the font size increases. We can make it not just pixels, but we can make it 2 M's. And 1 M is just the size of the default text on the page. So if the default text size is not defined in the CSS file, then browsers, the default from the browser, which is 16 pixels, comes into effect. So if you have 1 M, that means that everything will be 16 pixels if we're using the browser defaults. If we change it to 2M, it's going to be 32 pixels, which is this size right here. And what M's allow you to do is they will allow you to change the text relative to other parts of the text. So what I mean by that is, if you define in your CSS file what the default text size is, say it's 16 pixels, then you can define everything relative to each other. So maybe a heading tag is always 2M, a P tag is always 1.5 M, a special callout text is always 1.25 M. Then all those sizes are relative to each other. Then you can go back and change the one default setting for the text size, change it from 16 pixels to say 20 pixels, and then all the text on the page adjusts accordingly to keep that same relationship that you set up with the M's, with the M figures. And that's really, really handy. If you set everything as pixels, then that's pretty much hard-coded. You have to go, if you want to change all the relative sizes, you have to go in and change every instance of a pixel font size declaration. Whereas M's are much more flexible. They allow you to update things a lot quicker. Which one you use is a matter of preference, but I was just making the case for M's possibly being the better choice. So we can define the P tag. We can also define the heading. We just type in H1, open curly, close curly, type in font size of 55%. Percent is another one that you're able to do, and it's 55% of the default page size. So you do the same kind of thing as with M's that I just described. You can set all the font sizes relative to each other, which is really cool. And of course, the current font size on this page is 16 pixels, and this is going to be just over 8 pixels in size. That's why it's so small. So we put this to 100. It'll be 100% of the default size, which is 16 pixels. Not the best size for a heading. That's a bit better. And then you can change your font size relative to each other. I don't recommend you mix percentages in M's and pixels. Pick one and stick to it. I recommend you use the M and then set a default text size, which is actually really easy to do. I'm going to show you how to specify the default text size right now. One of the ways you can do it, we type in the body selector, open and close curly brackets, and put in a font size in here. So let's make it 20 pixels. And everything that's within the body, any font, the default size will be 20 pixels. And anything within the body, of course, as you know from HTML, is all the content on your page. So this is saying that any text on this page, make the default size 20 pixels. And then after that, you make everything a certain number of M's. So This is saying that the size for the heading 1 is going to be 2 times the default, so that's 40 pixels in size. This piece selector is saying that the text size is going to be 1 times the default, so that's 20 pixels in total. So if we save the page, we will see, I'll have to take my word for it, but this is now 40 pixels and this is 20 pixels. And so when I was saying earlier how you can then change the default in one spot and have all the text on the page adjust accordingly, if we change this font size to the default size to 15, we're going to see both of these shrink in a relative manner. So they shrink about the same amount each, and it makes everything still make sense visually. And that's all there is to changing the font size using CSS. It's super simple. I hope this video helps you. If you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button, then click the bell notification icon so you're notified when I publish more awesome tutorials. And click over on the right hand side here where there's more videos that you can learn from. There's awesome stuff there. I want you to check it out as soon as you can. And until next time, keep crushing it. I will see you in the next video.